So I had a poker tournament in an hour, but I'm gonna do an hour for now, and I'll probably be back after, depending on how the poker tournament goes. Okay, so we have a broken model. IDR broke. So right here, what do we got? So this is beautiful during box creation. Rejecting from set of limiters, DRCs, coming down, coming down, coming down. I assume this is gonna fill this gap here. But we gotta look for a reason to enter. What candle is this? 410. No, that doesn't do anything for me. Neither does that. Neither does this. Neither does that. Let me dip up, we come up. We reject here. Then we get a wick confirmation. So this, I think this is the point where, yeah, so I would be in here for a short. There's no actual confirmation, so this is just kind of hearsay. I would have been above the open line. So if we opened here, or the close line, I mean, just out of, let's do some theory. Let's actually go above the limiter, go here, adjust for 5R. Okay, so we get stopped out there. Is that an actual confirmation? Nope. Nope. I would go in again right there. And we get an actual confirmation at 610. And it runs the target. Go figure. But plain time and price, so not going in. Obviously this runs further. We got the gap fill. Oh yeah, we're playing models, so let's see here. So let's open lens, because I don't have lens open. Why don't I have lens open? We're doing 2022 January.
All right.
So this is ODR, crude. It's funny. I guess you were gone, but
What happened?
I would have caught this short here.
All right,
There's no
see what
there's no confirmation till like here, but I actually would have lost my first trade. So when this dipped down right here.
you're not sharing your screen, brother.
Oh man.
Unless I'm not watching.
No.
Yeah.
No. It's me. There we go.
All right, there you go.
When this dipped down here, I would have been above this limiter, going for the gap fill, and I would have adjusted, and I would have lost. But then, when we got the 4 rejections, this engulfing, and then this failed to go above the limiters right here, I would have went in here, assuming that I just understanding
with
that
the same stop. Oh no, with a higher stop. Yeah, I got you.
A little bit higher, yeah.
Yeah.
Just like understanding that we got a false wick confirmation, and like the gap fill is the most likely scenario, and then price clearly rejects, and then just goes.
Comes down. Yeah. Now, would you have targeted beyond the gap fill?
Shut that, please. No.
Oh wait, no. It's not a gap fill till the regular session. Forget that question. Sorry.
Yeah, I would have just assumed that we were coming down here. How far down? So this actually came straight to. I get it. So this is the 5 extension. I would assume. Why are there no numbers on here?
You put them at regular. You check underneath the 8.0. No, had that open. Open that back up. Check underneath the um yeah, and then
There we go.
you can put them to the left or make them regular or whatever you feel like there. Oh shit.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, so now for doing models, actually we'd have to be at 7:30 here. Is where we would start. So we've got a Monday, true, short, 6:10 confirmation by day, Monday. J-Bell was saying you guys didn't find any nuggets in the rest of your back testing.
No, I think yeah, no, we didn't make any additional progress other than the observations you made. I mean, we did go through more broken models. I think it was just trying to determine whether the trumpet action would occur during the ODR session or the RDR. I mean, during the transition or during the RDR session at some point. And we weren't able to come up with any clarity on that, but that's what we were experiencing.
Gotcha. So Monday. So this is 2022. January. We'll do the entirety of January. Before, this is ODR. True short. Monday. Okay. So we got the right data here. So, this day, it looks like we wouldn't be using the data because the extension, the max extension they have here is 2.5, and we're already past that. So we would just go on now. With that said, we're expecting a downside expansion plus day or range expansion, which we would tie into that. So if we were looking for a trade by 8:30, so this rejects the daily box. This dips down, or dips down, closes up. So we would need to be in a trade here, and this looks like we're changing where we want to go in our box creation. So if we were assuming that we were going for the gap fill, which is fair, we rejected the daily box 5 extension. We also rejected the double limiter, and the wicks are failing to price down. So if we were looking for a trade, I think it would be something like this. For the gap fill, we'd have to adjust for the massive R. So I don't think I would ever take this trade because we're basically saying it has to come back down here. And I don't really want it to come back down here. I guess we could do something like this, like do an 11R pending, assuming we're going for the gap fill. I gotta open my metrics, and this one's this is probably gonna take a little bit longer because I'm gonna write notes on my charts based on like thought processes. So let's add name of backtest CL 2022 time and price. First 2 buckets plus models. Okay. So I think I would actually put this as a pending. Yeah, we'd be tagged in, we'd already be break even. And we would have been stopped break even.
Wait, that didn't hit your stop, brother.
No, I would have been break even already though.
Because of the break even.
Oh, maybe not. I wouldn't have been. I thought this
I feel
went
like
up.
it would have to at least close above, make a higher close.
Yeah.
But I guess not, right? Based on that.
Well, no, it would, like, assuming, so that's fine. We would have lost this one because it wouldn't have ran. So entry stop 74.15. Confirmation time would have been a 6:10. Okay. So this is fine. So then all I assume that's going to happen here when I lose this trade. So let's put this on here. So why is this not capitalizing now? Took trade as pending 11R looking gap fill. Hit 5.0 plus limiters and rejected. Looking push up, willing to be at 3R plus and hold for targets lost. This one. Now, one could argue, so I'm actually going to put 2 of these in here. So I'm going to go, because I want to see, okay, so let's go into settings. Let's go into entry methods. Let's add a method. Model BE 1R. Because I'm just going to add 2 variants so I can see. So let's actually change. So entry methods, model, no BE, so that I can differentiate them. So backtest, all backtests. I don't like how it makes me click all backtests now. It's really weird.
Yeah, that's weird.
Okay, so entry, model no break even. And then we'll add this trade again, and this one would have been break even. Model, break even 1R, exit 70, 1.58. And this is assuming that added second entry for B after 1R. Screenshot. Okay, so that's done. So now that this is done, let's open this. Let's go create group. This is going to be Monday. No, we'll include the transition in the next session. So Monday, RDR. Okay, so we can hide this for now. And this has to go in here too. Hide this. Okay. So, you rotten. So I don't think there's anything to prevent that. However, this here, so this is our box creation. So this tells me that we're going to have an upside day for sure. Okay, so we get our 10:30 confirmation. So stupid. Okay, Monday, true long, RDR. So first bucket, so we're looking for a trade. And we are 0.1 to 0.2.
Hey, brother, you're just doing time and price, or are you doing advanced too?
Um, I'm adding extra stuff to this, so like,
Okay.
yeah, you'll see here. So zero one
All
to
right,
zero
good. Yeah, yeah.
two.
Sorry, I just observed.
Uh,
But
no,
you don't get back into that transition trade to the upside.
not in this sense because I
The
don't see.
structure,
Yeah, I don't see an entry here. Like we broke um
the limiter.
the limiters, got a massive close in, and then it just like takes off. So like, there's nothing here. I guess like we could look. Yeah, no, this is so. It's really funny because this is probably either this low to high, which looks like it's to the T if I'm in the right spot. Yeah, look at
Oh my gosh.
that. So it's like, how far back do you want to look, right? Like, what are you aiming for? So it's literally just this low to high. It's the middle of the structure that caused this massive break, is where it stopped and rejected
And
off
it
of.
just balanced that break, actually, right?
Yeah, that's all it did. To the tick. You literally could have been like, okay,
Mm.
I think it's gonna bounce off the 50%. We'll do here. Go for this. Done. Easy trade. Um, but that's more like,
That's hindsight. Like, how do you know how far to look back always? I guess you always need to look
yeah,
back,
you always
but
need to look back. Like, so when you see
but
this
is there a
takes,
block there too from that other that high before that break? That the order the break in structure, the 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 order block that caused that
yeah,
break in structure?
it'd be this right here.
Okay.
But I'm not. So
It
like,
didn't.
this would take, like, you'd have to see that this is just selling off, and then it's not like bouncing back off this right away, and you would just have to
Hmm.
look back and be like, okay, where are likely places that it bounces? So I would just have two trades here basically. I'd have a trade at the 50%,
Hmm.
and then I'd have another trade off this order block. And if it just
Okay.
sells off through all of that, then it's probably just going down here.
Right.
But it's taking the like trades that make the most sense, right?
Right.
Um. Okay, so these are
But what about the dib after the big washout? That's not right there. That's not of interest to you
no,
because you have
because
no place for a stop.
yeah, exactly. Like like I'm not going for a like I assume it's not coming back here. Like that's a 1.9R trade. I just don't
Yeah,
care. Like
that's
when I
nothing.
see like huge movement like this and I missed it, like I'm just fine just missing it.
Okay. All right.
So entry zone. So what was it? 0.2 to negative 0.1. And I'm gonna be doing this a little bit different here. 3 to 5. So what is, so we've got our median time, which is 11:35, and then our drop off time is 11, because I did go back and look at um, the drop off time, and it was actually a lot more critical than I thought in terms of, so like I would want it to be coming to this area and then respecting this limiter, because
Right.
this is what just caused this break of structure. Technically, it could be this right here,
Okay.
but I'm just looking for like really specific things now. And then if it, like if I see it, and this is why I'm backtesting, because I'm like, how important is structure really? Like you could even see a false state here, so like you could see a 0.5 to, or like it could hit this 5 extension and then come up, but because we grabbed all this, like I'm seeing the ADRs at least, or the ODR highs at least be taken out, even potentially the RDR high from the previous RDR. But we'll see here. So we got this 11:35. Yeah, so we'll play this out. I don't really care about further retracements, because if we go further, yeah, 0.1 And then so 0.3 to 0.1, we'd even change this as that's what we would do for this one. Okay, so we want this probably to come down a little bit more. So this, we get the dib down. No, I'm not interested yet. Okay, so here, when we get this dib up, I would go in, assuming we're not coming back in the IDR, we're not using this, and then I'd be going for our extension at 1.5. And I'm not adjusting for 5R in this test. It's simply, it has to be at least 3.
Okay. Which is good. You wouldn't have been tagged in if you'd adjusted. Not that that matters, but it just is an odd point of observation.
And then, so I am going to put in how I would actively trail this as well, because I think when you're not going for the huge R's, you have to actively manage it a little bit to lock in profit. And I think I would just lock in my 1R below here.
Yeah, that's the order block that took the break of structure, right?
Yeah, more or less. So I think I would be here, and whatever happens, happens. Okay, so we get stopped out. So I'd be like 0.68, which is fine. We'll do 0.63. Okay, so this here. And we'll just keep this where 1.5 was. Now, you can even argue that once this hits the ODR high, so
yeah.
what is, yeah, so you can even argue that once it hits the ODR high, you don't want it to come back
Below that DRC, because now we're asked down.
Yeah. So
Well, it could be the higher one, because look look how many you get a free one come back, and then I don't know if that's do you have DRCs like Tuesday DRCs? Or are you using ADR? You have all of them, or just all of them minus the last 3 sessions?
Yeah, it's all the last 3 sessions.
Okay.
That's just how I like to look at it.
Yeah, no, I like it too. It's not too busy, but it's also offers good information.
Yeah, I think I actually would be here because we break.
It's a break of structure right there.
Yeah, so we break up, and then we take the highs of the ODR, and we come down. So I would be here, assuming that it's going to hit the 1.5 or it's coming back. That is what I would do. So we'll just adjust this. So that's fine. And then this. So confirmation time is 10:35. Okay, so that's fine. And add the screenshot. Okay, so now we're going to the next day. And then like same thing, right? Like I said, so it's either it's taking this and it's going to continue, or it's coming back, or like sideways. Same difference. It makes no
right.
It's
Sure.
the same, right? So there's no like, just based on what price has done, it already filled the gap. We're either getting a crazy extension day, or it's just sweeping some form of liquidity and then like completely reversing or just going sideways. So like there's no benefit in taking a second trade here.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, so let's get into the ODR. So this is our gap. So we're probably going to keep going up if I had to guess. Okay. So we already have a broken model. Why do I not have the grid for... Where's the... That's really weird. Whatever. As long as it prints the grid for ODR, I don't really care. Just don't know why my ADR doesn't have a grid. Yeah, this one doesn't either. Must be a setting I just can't find. That's fine. Okay, so this is third bucket. We're not interested in a time and price trade, but let's look at, so this is a Tuesday, ODR, we got a true long at 510. Man, why is Len so slow? Come on, Amazon Cloud. Load your shit. Like, it's loading, like I'm watching it, but it's like it is so unbelievably slow. Oh yeah, we're just gonna refresh this. Crude oil, ODR, before date. Remove news days. We're choosing before January 2022. No. January 31st, 2022. By day. ODR. Tuesday. True long. 5 to 5:15. Okay, so our extension data here. So we've got our mode is, how do I add? Let's just go like this, 1.7, 1.8, 2.1, and then we're gonna have to add 1.1, 0.8, 0.7, and 4.4, 4.5. Nice. Okay, so the median is 1.8 with our extension time at 8:30 to 8:15. So we're looking 8:15, 8:30. Now we're going to copy this. I guess I should probably make this a different color. Hey? Let's actually just do entry zone, same as I do for the other ones. Okay, and then so 1 to 1.1. And then we've got a ridiculous 4.4 to 4.5. I say it's ridiculous, but we've all seen CL do some pretty crazy things.
Yeah, CL can ramp when it wants to.
And it's funny because it lines up perfectly with
the gap.
The gap. So 8:15. And it's 8:30, but it'd actually be the 8:25 close, right? Yeah. Okay.
So you just took the median, the mode, and the farthest, right?
I didn't take the farthest because the farthest, here, I'll show you. So the farthest is 4.8 to 4.9. But
oh, okay.
I took this because it's happened more than this, and it's still like a really far extension. So I'd be like, if all of a sudden I saw price just fly up here, I'd be looking like anywhere in this area for like key rejections. Because like the difference between 4.4, 4.5, and
nothing.
The next one is probably like right here. So it's like,
yeah,
I'm looking for these areas. Really, I would like to see rejection from here. If if I'm being honest about like what I'm looking for. And then the same, yeah, wow, this is crazy. Okay, so we're expecting 32, 36. We got a broken model, so we're actually expecting it's like 50% downside, and then you would include the range expansion in the downside, so it's 63% versus 37. So at this specific point, I think I would be in right here. I'd be above here going for this. Looks viewable to me. Maybe break even.
Yeah.
Well, one trade. Okay, so I gotta put 2 in here. So we'd lose 1 and we break even 1. So let's change this one to 70. 6.94, that's the break even. Okay, so 1 trade. So BE or trade based on max I don't need to put the Y, we already know. So based max extension. So 2 trades, 1 BE, 1 loss in metrics, both based on extension time data. And it's a broken model. So we're expecting this gap to fill. So then this here, yeah, it's funny. It'll come back up and then it should go back down. No. Okay, so we're in. So this is 9:30. So this is actually quite interesting. So we'll see what happens here. So box. So we filled this old gap. Oh, wait, which? Yeah, that's an older gap. This is the most recent gap. So 10. Let's go to 10:30. So I would have re-entered here for a short, but that's not based on time and price, so we're not doing advanced trades. Dun, dun, dun. This is the, oops. Yeah, so we don't get any confirmations. So we didn't gap fill, which is fine. Oh, I didn't put this picture in metrics. And the confirmation time for this was 5:10. So no time and price and no advanced trade success there. Okay, so we have a broken. Oh, this is going too quick. No, so I wouldn't trade this. So we have, okay, so we have a true false day, an ODR. So we got true, short, Wednesday, false. So we have, I wish it showed, okay, let's just do this. Let's just add it. I wish you just put both sides, like I know that this is negative and this is positive. I don't need. So we got negative 0.8, negative 0.9. Negative 1.7, negative 1.8, negative 0.5, negative 0.6. I didn't put a negative on this one. Okay. Okay. So if we're So our extensions are 1.7, which would be 0.7. Why did it do this? Let's do it this way, because I know what I'm looking for. Okay, so we're going to do five, six, seven. So it'll be right here. And then 8 to 9 would be 10, 9, 8. So we'd have to do it this way. And our extension time is, it'd be retracement time in this case. So 7:45 to 8. Okay. So we're looking in here. And then there's also, yeah, we're not worried about that one. So that's really funny. Okay, so then 1.7 to 1.8 is literally right here. So this is 6. So this is 1.7 to 1.8-ish. And we reject here. And we're looking for a downside expansion plus. So we would be taking out basically the ODR lows. So if we went in for a trade here, stop above these limiters, and down here, do an adjustment for 7. No bueno. So if we're looking at the data, does it make sense to take this trade? So we're gonna true.
What time is it? 9? Yeah, okay.
Maybe 8. Would we want? So what is price trying to do if it is here? So we've got a broken model. We have this open gap. We have this open gap. And there's a gap up here too. And we want price to obviously come down to this gap. But it would want to fill its requirements. So what is it looking for? everything's pretty open here. So because this, well, this is outside the window, so no, we wouldn't take this because we didn't see any rejections here. This came up. It came into this area, but it's outside of our retracement time mode, and 8:15 to 8:30 is the last one that's actually in here.
It just looks like it's pricing up. It's not even anything to give you another dip down. It's actually dipped up. So you'd have to wait for some kind of structure break. Yeah, that looks like a look how it engulfed that whole candle and dipped down. I would want to be short there.
Yeah, but now you're in basically box creation, so it could do anything here, so I just wouldn't be interested.
I'd be stopped out. Right there, I would have been stopped out.
Yeah, so I figured this was gonna come up here to come down here. Yeah, don't catch that at all. And then what is this? This is 10:30. So we get a 10:30
Confirmation.
true confirmation on a Wednesday.
So this is something that's interesting that you had mentioned before about, okay, so you can get your trumpeting action in the transition.
Mm-hmm.
You can get it in the box formation, or you could get it sometime later during the session, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, do you remember what you said yesterday? Actually, I have it written down. I just need to figure out where I wrote it here. I did. No, it's on this. What was it? I'm looking at the wrong notebook. That's not it.
If you can paraphrase what you... Oh, there
It says gap fill within box formation. Oh, that was only with respect to it filling the gap within the box formation.
Yeah.
All right, that doesn't apply. Okay.
Not in this case, no. Yeah, that's... like, so for me here, on this one as an example, so it looks like it can do one of two things. Obviously, this is the priority gap, but I could see, because this falls within the 0.5 parameters, I could see a false stay confirmation to a false stay gap fill to like basically a double fake out to
Right.
But we'll see here. So median, and then we're gonna put the mode. So the drop off is 10:45. Oh, that's not what I want. 10:45 and 11 and 10:55. Stop clicking the wrong one. 10:55. Okay. let's see here. So we got the confirmation. See, and like in this case, I would be looking for the retracement here, like 100%.
Okay.
So this gaps up. We're looking for a true day. What's our extension on a day like today? 3. So I would go like this and see what we have. If we go to 3, and this is the lows, so I would just assume that we're taking this. Yeah, 5.84. I'm in.
That's it. Wow.
13.55 we close. That's the trade for that day. So 77.02 is our exit. Confirmation time is 10:35.
Did we confirm long? Is that the false day?
Yeah, it's a false day.
It's fake out.
But then like it didn't even do the gap fill. I just put my stop 2 ticks above that like as protection. So it came to the 0.5. It grabbed a bunch of extra liquidity and then just tanked.
Ripped down. And everyone was sitting there waiting for it to fill the gap. That's actually happened to me, the opposite of that trade, where I was long, waiting for the gap to fill to get out. It clearly rejected underneath it, and I just kept waiting, and it, as price eroded, fell away from me.
Yeah, so like I get into this trade and like I'm losing 1R, or I'm going for 5 or like almost 6, and I end up getting 4.1. So it's a good day. I took one trade, didn't really think about it, just looked at like all the parameters of what just happened. Understand, like, man, this whole models thing, dude. I like
it opened up a whole world for you.
Dude, it's changed my perspective on like everything about my understanding of how the markets work. Like before, I would have just had my stop above. Like I would have taken the same entry probably, understanding like I know it wants to come down because we like just understanding how market works. But I would have never, like, this is never where I would have had my stop, and I probably would have lost 2 trades in here. Whereas now it's just like, okay, like I understand that it looks like it wants to fill this before, like this is the priority. So it's like this is a clear change of structure. So it's just a matter of, does the algo want to now come grab liquidity because that's just what it does,
right?
Or does it want to just keep going? If it just takes off, then well, I just have no drawdown on this trade. If it does this, then I have a little bit of drawdown. And this is exactly where I would have executed. And I even said this when it was down here. I'm like, I would take it up here. And as soon as it came up there, I'm like, okay, I'm in this trade.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, this whole model thing was just fucking exploded.
Yeah, because I remember you're doing your time and price, and you're like, I don't care about models. And I was like, I was struggling with that because I've been searching for the last month to get clarity on it and had nothing. And all of a sudden, boom, a whole week of lives of models. It was just like, it was crazy.
ODR Thursday, true long, 4 o'clock to 4:05. Okay, so we've got so really we're 02 to 01, which I like. So I'm back to using HOS LOS2 in these tests.
Oh, okay.
Because what I'm looking for is, instead of looking for all retracements, I'm looking for common retracements before an extension that align with a break of structure point. So if the HOS LOS doesn't line up with, like here, it's pretty close. I probably would long right here on this rejection.
Right.
Because this was our, like, you can include this wick, so wick to wick, structure break, for continuation. Or if 06 to 07 was one, I would look in there too. So 02 to 03. I'm basically just looking for like reasons that include structure to go for the right direction.
Right.
And it might be wrong. I'm going to do all of 2022 and see like where I end up compared to like the other test I did for 2023. And then if I like this result better, I'll redo 2023 with this to see it, like how the year to year compares. And then if I like that result, then this is just all I'm trading live. Like,
right. Easy enough.
Then our mode is 425. So we're looking for trade within this vicinity. And so 02 to 04 is actually what that should be. And this should be 02 to 01. So this is going to be our HOS LOS. And then we also did have 01 to 0 in here, which would be our entry zone. 07 to 08 is also in there, but I wouldn't want it to come here. That's not what I want to see. So 2.2 is our extension, lines up with the gap, which is fine. And it's the gap that didn't get filled, so I just assume this is going for that. And I would already have all this mapped out before, so when this dipped up, I would have actually been in this trade, and my stop would be below here, going for the gap fill, 4R. Who's not going by? Oh, nobody. So we're still in the trade. Oops. That's done. Whew, almost got stopped out there. Confirmation time is 4:05. Easy money. 4 hours.
Well, what day of the week is that? That's Thursday?
Thursday, yeah.
And we're going back to the weekly DR. I can't see where that is. Is that behind us or above us?
The weekly. Do I not have the weekly DR on? We just came out of it.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, there's no turnaround when you start from inside of it.
Yeah, and I think if I lost this trade, like I don't think I would re-enter here. I would assume that it's going to be a false day because of the 0.5 rejection and come down here, because HOS LOS basically says it should come down to here at the like that's the cutoff. And to me, if it comes back down here and we get a close like here at all, it's not respecting this new break of structure, so we're probably coming for this gap fill. So like I would just be like, okay, and then if it runs, whatever. I think I'm just down to like one trade per day.
Yeah.
And this as well. Oh no, this would have hit my target. So if this didn't hit my target and this dipped up, I'd take away my take profit target. This hit before this dip though.
Yeah.
Because then I would just assume.
You mean so that you could trail, and you'd trail aggressively, right? You wouldn't.
Yeah, like every candle close, I'd just be right behind it, because where is this reversing, right? Like I have no idea.
Somewhere it will, but be nice to.
And it's like I already like this is 4R. Like I don't want it to come back down to 2. Like this was my target. I think that was my target. What was the target? Yeah, 2.1. So it actually would have been here, whatever. Oh no, I would have went for the gap. Yeah, that's why I had that there. Put this picture in here. Okay. And then, so on a day like today, so we have a true long ODR. Okay, so let's do all of our extensions and stuff. Now, this was the gap opening. So this is a perfect day. So we have broken ADR. Like this, I'm fully expecting to give us, like we had a massive extension, filled a really old gap. I think RDR is coming down just based on like my microscopic understanding of everything. So 5.5 to 5.6. Oh my god. So ODR 5.5, 5.6.
What's up, gents?
Was
Hey, brother, how you doing, man?
Good. Fuck, how do I do that?
Okay, so
Do you hear me?
Yeah.
No, we're just responding to you because we talk to ourselves.
We're telekinetically
Yeah.
responding to you.
Okay, our extension time is 8:15 to 8:30. Yeah.
Dudes, I've been doing CL advanced trades, like broken models and range and contractions. Holy fuck my life.
Mm-hmm.
Like some of these setups,
Yeah, some of
a lot of these setups, I should say, like once you start seeing the pattern,
Mhm.
like they just hit you right in the face. And you may not have all confluences to take an entry, but if you zoom out a little bit and see like previous like highs and lows and like see those types of areas, that could be like another confluence, like instead of like a limiter and a DRC. But holy fuck, if there's like this, the one scenario that I noticed that I wanted to share with you guys, if you see a setup like that's a broken model or range X or contraction or whatever, and there's like a gap, like the importance of zooming out, right? So if there's like a gap below and above,
Mhm.
holy, and if in the one session in the transition into ODR, like they hit, I mean, like like these are like 10R trades on average,
Mhm.
on average. But anyway, broken
Yeah,
models is where it's at.
Yeah.
I've been saying this for a really long time too, so I'm really glad M7 kind of covered it last week and put like a framework around it, so I
Well,
can kind of work with that.
I think the main reason he's been holding off is just purely business. It's the problem with teaching this is
Everyone's going to gravitate towards it right away.
is you don't actually need the academy to do this, right? So like it's really well you don't. You're looking.
Well, yeah, if you know the calculations and you have a way of like mapping out the DR, or if you just use the DR like version 1 that's out there, the free version. I don't know. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, like there's ways to like you're not gonna have the same accuracy, but there's definitely ways to trade this without DR. Like understanding how models work just by itself is extremely beneficial, right?
Yeah.
Understanding like average extension times are always between a certain window. Understanding you're looking for rejections. Like I guess like the negative would be like unless you have the scripts, like you can't emulate like all the limiters and stuff. But I think I personally think that he's been holding off just for business reasons. I think it's the right decision.
Well, I mean, he covered broken models a long time ago.
Yeah, not
He never gave the trading framework.
No, that's correct.
Yeah.
That's why I was really happy he covered it and gave a framework this time. But the reason why these were always on my radar is because when he originally did cover them in the lives like maybe a few months ago, I saw the R potential. I think I even mentioned this to one or two of you last week, but I see what you mean though. Like because like someone like me, for example, like I was jaw dropped about like how many times it actually happens.
Mm-hmm.
And even with my back testing now, I'm jaw dropped on how many times it happens. It's really hard to like miss. Um, so yeah, he probably didn't want to cover it in too much detail back then and make people like, well, what do I need to pay $200 for? But either way, dude, I'm happy to pay for it. I mean, like everything that comes with the academy is like worth it. So worth it.
I would never leave the academy. I've garnered way too much knowledge.
Oh yeah, dude. But the thing is, man, like again, I think I sound like a broken record right now to a couple of you guys, but if you master the models, that coupled with time and price, you're golden, because then you're equipped with knowing like exactly what time and price trades not to take, and exactly which ones, if you want to add a little bit more risk, if that's how your trading style is, as an example, because you think it's even extra because of how the model is setting up for it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Stuff like that. It's just so powerful, the two of them together. So powerful.
Yeah, this is so incredible. I mean, it's opening my eyes, giving me a path to be able to be a little bit more free with the trades I take, but also be a lot more restrictive. Like not feeling like I got to trade every undulation.
Yeah. Like some of these trades, like if you
time and
catch
price only is like it feels like a little bit of a prison to me when I see all the price action. But now you get into these transition trades, it's like holy shit.
It's ridiculous, dude. And like, I think we talked about this again last week too. It's like we always feel like the need, like we always have to be productive and on the charts, looking, hunting. Fuck that. If you just did a 10R trade and you were able, as a transition, and then you stacked it because like the stars aligned that day, and your confirmation candle was also in that same direction, so you stacked your entry and you were already way in the R, and then you had like a 20R day, and you had that 20R day like by noon, set your stop and like take a fucking walk. Go have lunch outside. Go to the dog park. Like, you don't have to work all day. You know what I mean? You can make a big bank and like have a nice day at the same time. I don't know. That's I think that's like my biggest personal problem is, like a lot of the time I get like historically a lot of the time, like anytime I'm in profit, I'm like I get cocky and I'm like, then I'll give it all back and some.
Yeah, that's 95% of all retail traders, bro. That's not you.
It's ridiculous though, but if I follow my rule and I block in 10R, why do I have to be in front of my screen for the rest of the day?
Yeah, but you're also so the problem with that thought process is now you're setting that expectation, right? So you're
no. It's like I should have been more clear. Like until I really get to the quantum weaver level, I should say, like I should force myself to walk away. Like I want to say a week and a half ago, I made like I think it was like $820 for the day. You know what I mean? And it was like 2:00, and I forced myself to get up.
Dude, it was before the open, not even 2:00. You were up there. You mean you're short of the crude or EF?
Yeah, but I stuck around still until 2:00 when it hit me. I'm like, what am I still doing here? Like, am I really gonna give this money back now? Like, I made it this far, so I forced myself to walk away. So until I have that discipline, dispo, like I think then I can, like stick around and watch price action for the day and stuff like that. But yeah, but until then, like I've a really, so I'm trigger happy.
Yeah, you just countered your own argument though, right? Like you said you want to have the Mindweaver mentality, but then until you have that, you're gonna sit there all day.
No, I'm saying I don't want to sit there all day. I'm gonna force myself to go to the dog park. So
There you go.
I don't.
Yeah. Well, I'm the difference I think in my mentality. I love watching the price action. It's really not so much as like get up and walk away and do something different. It's be able to
Or
sit there
don't
and watch it
engage.
and not feel like you have to do something. Because there's so much you learn just by watching, man. It's like
Yeah.
even remember we were talking about how highs are put in and when you expect retracements. It's like if I want to see what's happening when the market closes, when everyone steps away from their terminal. I want to see what are they doing with price in the hours when no one's watching.
Hmm.
Like how many lots are hitting the market, and are they sellers, are they buyers? How many handles do they take it with zero resistance? And it gives you a clue as to what the following day's action could be. So
Yeah.
if you can just keep being a student of price action and market movement, and you know without having to touch the button,
I'm
you can
trying,
set
man. I'm
yourself up. The
trying.
more you walk away, the less perspective you have for the next session and the next move. That's what I think, but I could be wrong.
I don't know. It's
I
like
could just be
I'm just
suspecting.
I'm
But I want to get
so
back to this.
afraid of giving it back
Well, that
because
you
I've done
can't.
it so many times.
Yeah. Well,
Like,
you have
how
to
am I gonna
discipline
be?
yourself into not giving it back. The fear of
Tell
it
me
is only going to
how.
make it happen. Well, you just got to trade free of that. It's like you can't be
Just
worried of
mindset.
every win and every loss has to be forgotten immediately, and you're just trading what's in front of you. If you carry that's one thing I realized that the guys who were even the M7, he doesn't. You never
If you
hear him
carry that,
talking.
you're
You
gonna
never
like
hear
crash
him
and
carrying
burn
any
really
trade
fast.
baggage. I've never
No.
not once heard him, not one instance of lament about trade baggage. And that's the sign of the guys who are all at the top. Even the
Yeah.
guys I clerked for, like they had zero memory. They had no, you couldn't tell in their face if they were up or down. There was no happy chatter. There was no sad talk.
Yeah, because
It
it's a
was
business.
literally just very clinical.
Yeah, it's a
It
bit.
was like they're doing surgery, you
Yeah.
know.
Extracting money from the market, little by little, here and
Yeah. Or in bunches, however it comes. They don't care.
there.
Yeah, it's because it's a business, right? It's the difference between a professional and a retail person.
Right.
Yeah. Well, that's the river I'm trying to cross, my friend.
Yeah,
That was in
that's good for you, man.
performance river. I got a few rivers to cross.
Yeah, like
We all do,
I
some one way or another.
I think anybody that has ran a business definitely and had any level of success definitely has a higher chance of being successful at trading than the average person, because the average person is they're
I have a more of a gambler mindset.
that's
They
right.
want to win.
They just
They
want to
wanna
win. They don't they don't understand how ebb and flow work, and it takes a very high level of dedication to your mindset, and that's why I like the Mind Weaver course or the Quantum Weaver course,
So good.
is
It really
because
is.
it teaches people stuff that they never think about, and even if they like have like this subconscious like half thought about it, it's not, it's just not it.
Yeah. That's a good point. That's a very good point.
So
But man, one thing you could be thankful for too is that you're gaining better proficiency with models, and that's like, man, that's a watershed moment. You can just keep honing your skill on that.
And this model indicator tool thing is badass. Really helps me kind of like
Yeah,
think a little bit faster.
yeah,
Like as time is going through into the session, it's giving you like a forecast of the potential model to come, which is really powerful. To kind of give you an idea of where price is going to end up and when.
Yeah.
Oh, so many, like, we have so much stuff. Anyway, I'm going to shut up.
No, you're
are you
fine.
doing, Dispo, are you doing advanced trades or TNP?
Both. This is I'm doing 2022 advanced time and price with models and seeing where my year ends up.
With models, meaning you're deciding your entry on your TNP, considering models as well.
No, I'm just doing, so like this was my time and price entry, and where like I got stepped out based on like my new parameters for how I'm trailing, and then now I'm setting up for a model trade.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, if you're in a transition trade, and let's just say it's a broken model, and going into RDR, it starts to spike up. Just as an example, and then the RDR box starts to form, and then for whatever reason it confirms a long. Like, are you still going to take a long TNP, or would you be looking for shorts at that point?
Yeah, it just depends on what like the model and the like everything else says combined, right? Like it's a mixture. I definitely like I would stack one time and price trade inside of a model trade if it's like the same like directional bias, but I don't think like models alone can't dictate whether or not you take time and price, right? Like, so as an example, we have a broken ADR and a broken ODR. So, like, you could short from right here, just simply based on data, but then you're missing out on this long as well, right? Unless I'm misunderstanding your question.
Reef, you there? Hello?
He vanished. 1.9 to 2.1. He probably muted himself by accident. Pulled a M7.
Yeah, it's funny how often he does that.
Yeah. I was like, you're muted. He's like, fuck.
There
you are.
Yeah, it's the only time you ever see
fucking
him.
Mute. Fuck.
Yeah.
I totally missed what you said before, dude. Would you mind repeating yourself? You don't have to if you don't want to, but
it's fine.
What did you say?
I just said, like, trading like models and like continuations is fine, but like you still have to trade time and price based on what it prints, right? Like, so as an example, this like we have a broken ADR and a broken ODR, so like obviously we're assuming that this gap is being gone for, but like, you can't not take this long in the ODR assuming that it's gonna come down.
No, so like what I'm saying kind of like mirrors what I don't know if you heard the student stage from Friday with Santi, but even Santi, he was saying like he knows even based on his backtesting that if you have a non-broken model, it's an intact model, and RDR ends up. So if it's like ODR is upside or upside X plus, right, and then RDR is upside X plus, and it confirms long, like he knows not to go long. You know what I mean? Like he's not going to take a long, even though it confirms long, it's not worth it, because even if it goes like north, it'll probably be just a little bit, and then it's going to head back down.
So wait, you're saying if the model's intact,
if it's a UXP and ODR, and then it's a UXP and RDR, and then RDR confirms long,
don't take the trade.
It's not worth taking the trade. It's probably
You're too
probably
far
ran out of
extended.
gas at that point.
But are you assuming that the ADR is broken or it's also
I'm not.
intact?
I'm just saying what Santi said on Friday. That like it's just if you're just looking at the ADR and ODR RDR, not the not like individually, disregarding prior RDR.
Mm-hmm.
So if ODR is a UXP, and then RDR is a UXP, and then RDR confirms long, Santi won't go long. He won't take a long TNP entry.
Yeah, but you have to have like enough back testing to like.
Yeah,
accept
there's
that,
a few
right?
different scenarios where.
Yeah.
I would agree.
Right. I mean,
my observation
time,
for that scenario is like if ODR is UXP to from ADR to ODR is UXP, and from RDR to ODR to RDR is UXP. If your box formation is greater than the 2.5 standard deviation of the ODR, the propensity for it to retrace back into the ODR IDR is much higher.
Yeah,
But
that's a good point.
if your box formation is attached to the ODR, let's say it is UXP, right? If your box formation is connected, like meaning it's below the ODR 0.5, the low of the box, then you can still take the long. That's from my
I mean, it
kind of
depends.
backtesting.
It all depends on like price action, but like if
No, not price action, just like
just general trend. If like
formation.
Like let's throw in a turnaround Thursday. You know what I mean? If the market, or sorry, if price has been trending up all week, or trending
anywhere, trending all week.
Trending up all week, right? And then on Thursday, the ODR upside X plus, and then RDR upside X plus example I'm telling you, right? It's like it confirms long, and it's a turnaround Thursday, and it's been going up the entire week. That's like even extra confluence to like not take a time price long. You know what I mean? Like it's probably going to turn around.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm?
Yeah, I get what you're saying. It does, but I'm honestly, I'm
just back that the fuck out of all of this.
I'm getting distracted from what Dispo's doing here. To be fair.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sure.
No, it's okay. I just don't. He's doing some things I got thoughts about, and I don't.
Yeah, the target's the gap right
moving
here.
without. He's moving and grooving here. So this short here, can you go back to this, brother?
Mm-hmm.
So we got our. Go ahead.
Yeah, so we retraced into 1.5, 1.6, which is not super like key for retracement zones, but we have a broken model. We've taken all the highs from the previous RDR.
And the gap below. That's beautiful.
We have price clearly trying to come up. And then 1.1 to 1.2 is... actually, I don't know why I had that on here. I think I was listening to you guys. After this tries to come up, and then we get the directional imbalance down, I'm just assuming that it's not coming back up here. And then price obviously just starts to break down. You could target the first gap, which is the most recent one, but because we had so this gap here was created not too long ago, and we filled. Why can't I see them?
Because you have your limiters on. If you took this, it'd be easier.
We had filled like really old topside gaps in this process. So to me, when this fails here at the end of the session to go higher and then gap directly after the session, this is just running down. And obviously, we just ran the target. And then if I lose this trade, then I just wait for the time and price entry. And then so like the other argument would be, so this is a 1050 short confirmation by day, Friday, true short RDR, 1050. That's what I said, right? Yeah, 1050. So 1.4 would be our extension. So like once you get this confirmation, like if you wanted to, you can now be like aggressive with your stop. And once we extend past this, you can trail based on we've created a new low and it shouldn't come back here. So you could trail, you could have 6R locked in at noon, or you could just hold for target, and 1.4 would be target. It doesn't run, it comes back. So I would just go for gap fill in this case, because the difference between gap fill and
0.4.
1.4 would be, so we're at 9.28 versus 10.6. So like, are you really losing
No.
3R to gain 1R?
No.
Oh, gap makes sense for sure. It's the safer one, because sometimes it takes the gap and then reverses right away.
Yeah. So this trade.
Brilliant. And that was at 9 o'clock, 8:35. Is it?
8:35. Yeah. So basically, the last retracement, the mode retracement time. Oh, this is an ODR. The mode extension time was 8:15, 8:30. So basically, at 8:30, when we failed to create a new high, I'm just assuming that on this dip down, we're going down.
Right. Okay, gotcha. All right. And you're using monthly data here, right? Or you're using for February?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so why is this not copy, paste? I don't understand why metrics logs me out when I'm using it. It's so stupid.
I know. You should have like a token that sees that you're refreshing.
But I don't, it's really weird. So 2022 time and price.
Everything logs me out when it's metrics. It's I even get logged out of the lens at times when I'm using it.
Confirmation time
Bizarre.
would have been 410.
Metrics will log me out like every hour. It feels like.
It's crazy.
And then so let's say we're on RDR, true short 1030 confirmation. If we were looking for a trade here, 0 to 0.1 would be why does this look so weird? 0 to 0, oh, because I'm going backwards. 0 to 0, 1 would be here. And then 02 to 03. Yeah, see, I'd missed the time and price trade here just based on what I'm looking for. So 02 to 03. And then 05 to 06. Maybe I wouldn't. Let me see here. Drop off is 11. Or 12. 10 is the median. And our drop off time is 10:55, which is the next candle. So we wouldn't use that. We'd use 11:25. So I wouldn't get in here or here. I'd probably get in on this one. We would reject here. So what would that give us? We'd go here. We'd be above here. Doesn't give me near enough R. Do adjust it for 3, and we would get tagged in. So that would be my time and price trade. No, it wouldn't, because this would be So time and price, we would have to go for this as the stack trade. When I saw this rejection though, I'd probably just close my trade off the gap. So if we were here, that would give us our 3, 1.4, and then when we make the new low, we would be stopped out. So our advanced trade, we would take the gap for time and price, we'd go further. Or we could do an adjusted for the time and price for the gap fill.
When you say adjusted, you mean like you're doing a partial?
No, just an AND style entry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because if this is where our advanced trade thinks it's stopping, I think we would have to do an adjusted, assuming that that's where our price is going that day. That's what I would do if I was sitting here live. So confirmation time is 10:50. And this is probably 50% of this, if I had to guess. That's funny. So it's actually, if we go like this, it's the in between, it's fine. Okay, next. So 4 o'clock, ODR, true short. I already know I wouldn't be in this just based on these two candles, but I also don't think there's a point where I could go into a long here. So to the tick rejection from the IDR, DR, but then it dips down, comes up. Where's our, sorry, this is our gap, so we can assume that it's probably just going to continue up. So this gives our confirmation, but it's 435, so we're not interested. So the ADR is broken now. So where do we decide? So how does this work for a model? So it'd be a true, false, but you're going with the extension data? Because it was a true? Let's just take a look. Never thought about a day like this. So true, short, ODR, Monday. So we're looking for the median is 2.2. And what's our time? 8:15, 8:30 obviously. So 8:15, 8:30. And then our mode is 1.8 to 1.9. And then our max is 4.7 to 4.8. We're not going to put that on unless it goes down there. Okay, So our gaps up here are already moving this direction. This is the 2.5 and our mode. So let's say you were trying to be really prepared and you're like, let's put pendings. You would have to be like this. It doesn't give you enough, so you wouldn't be in this one. And so it's broken. You're expecting an upside expansion plus based on, that's what, 36, 42, and adding this would be, it's got 56% chance. So when you see this rejection, this comes back down. You could do like a market entry off this, stop below here, and you're assuming that it's coming up here. It's still not good enough. Is there a gap up here anywhere? Way up there. Oh, why did that do that? So I think that would be the trade. See what happens. So you'd be break even here for sure.
Yeah. After that wick up there, yeah.
Oh yeah, you're never this.
That's just either a huge FU candle or
So
taking you out.
confirmation time was 4 o'clock. This is a. So we gotta put 2 of them in here because one I said we're moving break even and one we're not. So this is gonna be no break even. This is gonna be break even 1R. So confirmation time on this one is also 4 o'clock. And then this one we'd have to play out. So we'd lose the break even. Or we'd lose the no break even. So it's definitely so far extremely beneficial to go break even at the very least. And then when this doesn't hit the 0.5 and comes down, like now we can assume that this is going to be a downside expansion model. It's funny.
Wow.
Yeah, like when you get this huge rejection, you could probably even argue for a short here with a stop like above this limiter. It's just a matter of like
a final stop.
Right back to the top of the WDR.
Yeah, it's just a matter of like, because like when you get this huge rejection and it doesn't hit the 0.5, you know it's way more likely to be a downside model now, right?
Yeah.
And then here, so this isn't based on time and price, but I would definitely consider this trade right here. The close of this candle. I'd put my stop here just to be safe. And probably go for the gap fill down here, if I had to guess. Be break even. This just plays with me all day. And nothing. So crazy. So we have a broken model, broken ADR, so yeah, downside expansion. And it does. So like the model holds true. So you get a downside expansion plus model.
Mm-hmm.
So this trade would have been break even. And then when you see, and this is just where the back testing comes in, right? Like I said it right as soon as this happened, but like you can pretty safely assume here, I don't think this one ends up running to target either, but you'd have to be like above this limiter, assuming price doesn't come back, and you'd want 7R, so you'd be going somewhere into the weekly DR, and obviously it doesn't run the target. Crazy. And then this is just another one of those days where it doesn't do anything. Oh, is this? No, this is ADR. So we fill the gap, the fake gap. We get our 410 confirmation, ODR, Tuesday, true long. HOS LOS is 02 to 01. 02 to 01. 450 and 02 to 04. And 09 to 1. With our drop off being 425 is what we'd be looking at. And our extension is 2.3. So we just missed this trade. This takes off, it's no big deal. So then our extension data, our mode is 2.5 to 2.6, but that's the same, so it's gonna be 1.8 to 1.9, 815, 830. And then where is it? 3.8 to 3.9. We'll include that if it goes up there. And then we also have this high. So let's see what it does here. 815, 830. Two more candles. So we're not coming up. And we have, so this is where Reef is saying he would not take a long on the next one here, as long as this model ends up intact. So I would actually take, no, we've got the gap here. So.
Like run out of steam a bit, you can argue.
No, I'm just, okay, so the model is broken anyways, doesn't matter. So broken, but then we get this candle. That's so dumb. So as soon as this breaks, I assume that this gap fill is coming during RDR, and I would have went into a long here. Probably targeting the 5 extension. Assuming that that's what was going to happen during box creation.
crazy swings. Holy shit.
Well, I hit all of this. I go like this. Like I called it as I was printing the candles. Like I would be here, going for. Like I'd probably play safe and just go for the DRC. And then as soon as I see this dip down, I assume that we're going for the gap fill. I'd go above here to the gap fill. And I'd be done for the day. But so this is broken. We got the gap fill. RDR true long. Tuesday true long. So HOS LOS is 020. 020. 1135 being the 1140, and then that's not zero, that's zero. 0203. And just based off of what I'm seeing here, the drop-off time is 10:55. I'd probably wait.
I'll be right back, brother. I gotta step away for a second.
Mm-hmm. So we came down, rejected here. This technically 02030405. What's our extension today? 1.3. Taking out the ODR highs makes sense to me. Wait. So get this candle. I would have missed the trade. I knew I should have. That's okay. This was the candle. That's okay. Life happens. We move on. Goes for the really old gap fill. Crazy. So would that have been foretellable? Yeah. Got these highs that have liquidity. We had this spike. We had the gap fill. Immediate rejection. I didn't see that gap, but I definitely wanted to long on this candle. Here going for 1.3, which would have been fine, but you could have went here had I seen the gap. Oh, this is ADR still. Okay, so broken ADR. Get a long confirmation at 425. ODR Wednesday true long. We can assume this is going up because it wants to leave some gap behind. So we're going to be 0 to 001. Let's just get our boxes. 0 to 01 is here. 5 o'clock. And then 02 to 01. No. Yeah, I wouldn't include any of that. So this is fine. Our extension's 2.1. So extension would probably be the 5, which is fine. Let's see what happens. Oh yeah, our drop off is 425. So we went down. So what's the other? So 02 to 03 is actually this. That's fine. And 04 to 05. I probably wouldn't like to see it come down here unless it hits exactly. Well, this already hit the 50%. So let's see. So this rejection. This is up. So we would go in for a long here, stop below here, going for 2.1, probably do an adjusted, or no, I said 3R is fine, so no adjusted. So we lose this trade. And maybe done for the day. And what does the extension data say? So, 2.3, 0.8 to 0.9 is right where it would be right now. So if we go 8:15 to 8:30, let's see if we see anything exciting here. Might have to wait one more candle. 1.8 to 1.9 would be where we want to see it. Come up at this point. And not really interested in anything here. Wait for a box, so we have an upside day. It's funny, so when you get this rejection from the DR of the ODR and you get the gap, you could probably do this, go for like a 3R. You'd have to go higher, so maybe going here. Not enough R. But when this confirms, we obviously have upside expectancy, so RDR. True. Long Wednesday. 04 to 0, which is this. 11 o'clock. And then this is going to be HOSLS. And then the rest of the day is huge. So 0, 2, 0, 3, 0, 5, 0. So we'd be like 0, 1 to 0, 6. This would be an entry zone. And drop off would be 1050. Well, it'd be 1040 and 1055. We're assuming an upside day. So I think when this dibs up, we would be stop here and going for a 2 point. Well, we'd be going for here. And we lose is that trade? We'd be done for the day. This is IDR. So add that in my metrics in a minute. Oh, this is ADR. Nobody cares. So I'd be expecting a downside confirmation after this. We get the upside instead. So broke the ADR, so 440. We wouldn't be trading this. It's 445 confirmation. And we get a Thursday ODR true long false Thursday. So we're looking at the retracement time, which is 8:15, 8:30, and we're basically at 1.7, 1.8 is the mode, so it's gonna be like 5, 6, 7, 8. So be in there. And then if we copy this, 0, 3 to, oh no, go look at retracements. 1.3 to 1.4. It should be somewhere in here. Let's see what happens here. So we would be expecting a range expansion or an upside day. So if we got in here, we know the gap fill is going to happen. We'd have to be, oh no, one more candle. Let's see what happens here. Oh no, this is the right candle. 825 close. So it'd be here, and we're going for this. Obviously, assuming gap fill. We break even right now. Didn't even take the highs. So that'd be a break-even trade. We get a short confirmation. ADR broken. So we would expect to see like 0.8 here for a false day. I definitely would not take the short here. Where do you even take the short there? RDR, true short Thursday. What's the extension? 1.7. So it goes for the gap from September 1st, no, January 11th. So 2 days before. Which makes sense, but I don't think there's a spot where you can short this. What's the retracement say? 0.8 to 0.9 is 1, which would line up with that order block. I guess you could short there.
As a retirement setup, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's probably the only time that I would see a retirement setup is valid. And you'd be going
Yeah, because it respected the order block, right?
Yeah, respected the order block. We still have the gap fill from 2 days ago.
How would you draw that order block, just out of curiosity?
Well, it'd be
Use a box at the high and low of that green candle, the highest highest wicking green candle?
yeah. It would just
Okay. You won't be able to grab it because of that tool, I think. Oh, yeah, there you are.
Yeah, so 50%
Wow.
to the tick. And it just rejects.
Do you see those things as price action happens all the time, like as it goes? Like you don't go drawing them all the time, right?
No, I don't draw them. I just see it. So, like, if I'm looking at, so like HOS LOS supports it, right? So on this,
Yeah.
So here, HOS LOS is saying that this is like when you're comparing all the modes, it's right up there with how like high it is. So
Right.
this is 8, this is 9, this is 12, like whatever. So all I'm looking for is a reason to go in. 0 to 01 would be a reason, but there's no rejection here. So like this here, because this technically was the cause of the break, and well, so that's really funny.
Yeah.
There's another entry.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, like so this is further confirmation when you see reject, like this whole like area and the limiter. You're just like, okay, I can short like even right here.
You would stack there, right? You could, but
you could. I wouldn't. I was looking for a true false days, but when we get the 4 rejections here inside this order block and 0.8 to 0.9 line up, and we have this gap down here, that's easy trade to take. I probably don't get filled there. I probably get filled like here. Going a little faster than I normally would, but it's just like I'm fairly certain I understand what I'm looking for. And like this trade, like I think on advanced trades on my personal account, I think I'm just like either taking the full R or like
or
break
nothing.
even. Yeah, like I don't think I'm gonna trail them because I'm using the model trades plus the data and time and price to assess, and like I know that my time and price trades based on like what I'm looking for now are fine. So it's like this is just like extra free money.
Yeah.
I think the exception to it would be like, so in this trade,
You can see that it's respecting that order block. Or not really.
No, it's not. But like if this doesn't take the highs before it starts coming down here, I'd probably just close my trade. Like, because this to me is saying that like it wants
it's
to
gonna revisit the lows.
Yeah. Whereas like if this comes up during box creation, like we're much more likely to have upside expansion plus box to stay above here, and then we're extending up here somewhere.
Right.
But that's just how I'm looking at it.
No, I like that analysis. It makes sense to me.
Okay, so this is ODR. We don't get any confirmations. Whoops, no, pause. Okay, so 510 ODR Friday true long. Both models are intact, so as long as this doesn't break the 0.5, we would be looking for an upside expansion plus model, which would align with our 8 extension. So let's just see this here. So our extensions are 2.1, so we'd be the mode beside that, wow, there's lots. So I'm not going to draw these on. I'm just going to like look at them because there's just way too many. So we'll see what price does here. So we're looking, so our extension is still 815, 830. So now I can't break inside the model, right? Yeah, so this, there's just nothing. So we get a false day. So this is actually interesting. Okay, so false day. Let's take a look here. So the median is 0.6 to 0, or the mode is 0.6 to 0.7, which is exactly where this just rejected from. I 8:15, so 8:30. Let's just see. So 8:25 close. I personally would go down to the 1 minute, and I would put a limit order here. Stop below these. Going for here. And we don't get filled. That's fine. Box creation. Upside day, probably. No confirmation. Oh, rip me off by one tick. Nope. That's fucking. Man, like, I can't make this up. If I'm willing to just take one trade between sessions, like obviously this one specific, actually, this probably does fill me because I'm probably watching. So this is 8:25. So let's actually go to see what I would be looking at. So 8:25. Yeah. So when this high breaks, this is the area that caused that break. So I would have it just above here. My stop would be here, assuming we're doing upside plus day. So I would get filled on that. Nailed it. And then I don't trade because it's an 11:25 confirmation, so I just don't care, and it runs to the moon. But I've got IDR in the bag, so I'm fine and happy with my life. Okay, so this is ODR Monday true short. Got our gap. So HOSLS, so 02 to 03. And 5:15. But our drop off is, we'd say 4:25 and 4:40. So 4:25 and 4:40. And that's not the mode. 0 to 01 is the mode. And then 01 to 03. And the rest, actually I do care about this one. So we are 07 to 9, is that one? 07 to 08. So let's just slow down a bit here and see what we would do. So nope, not interested. Not interested, obviously. Nope. So this did respect this, which technically broke this. So if our extension is 2, I would go into a short here, stop up here. That doesn't get me a good enough R, so we would do something smarter and go like this and get our 3. We obviously break even right now. And we hit target. You see, that smart entry just saved my life.
Mm.
Okay, so now we're... You understand why I adjusted that, yeah?
Yeah, I do. I don't understand the. You mean adjusted the entry to get your R?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like a non-style or whatever.
Yeah, like, so basically, the way I was looking at it was, so if this closes and I wanted 3R, like, this stop doesn't...
Yeah, that stop puts you in danger getting stopped out quite easily.
Yeah, so if I'm going for 3R anyways, let's just go, I take above here, and let's go like this, and...
Why wouldn't you go above the limiters? Because you think if it traded back up there, the whole complexion changes?
Yeah, like if we trade up here, then we're probably breaking this, and it's probably coming up here further. Like,
oh, I got you.
Yeah, so I just don't have a reason to, like, I'd rather just go for my 3R and whichever. Like, you could argue you could be like this and like that. It's all, like, in this specific situation, it's all the same. You get the same result.
Right.
Okay, so then our extension is 2 to 2.2 and 1.8 to 1.9. So we'll just play this by ear here. We've got a broken ADR. So we're expecting trumpet here, obviously for the gap fill. 8:15, 8:30. Let's see what happens. One more candle.
IDR low. No, I didn't even get to the IDR low.
So what would we do here if we were being realistic? We'd see the next candle. Sorry, I was just in a big poker hand. Okay. So we're expecting, so 34, 43, 56% upside and 64% downside in this case, because we have a broken model and we have the gap above, and this, so if we go down to the 1 minute, what do I see here? So this respected that, so I would probably be long here, stop here, going for gap at least. This is what I would do. We would lose that directional bounce to the downside, but it still respected this, which is makes me sad. Yeah, we'll be done. Like, I'm not taking extra trade. So what happened here? So 2 point. what would this be? What does the data say? So we'll say this is 2.567 8. Yeah, so 2.8 to 2.9. It's not really a number in there. And I don't think there's going to be anything here. So when we lose this, we're expecting this low to be taken, but we don't know that the box is coming here. The box could continue down and then go for the gap after the open. So yeah, that's it. We lose that trade, no big deal. And then I want the box to come down just a hair, but it doesn't. I think this double directional would be, I don't know if I'd catch it, but I think it would be interesting. No, not enough R. But this just so it confirms at 10:40 from Monday. True long RDR. 0, 1 to 0, and everything else is like has happened, but it's not important. 0.5. Yeah, I probably don't trade anything else here unless I see a really big reason to. Broken gap fill. So what's the mode? So 10:55 would be here. So this, but like, what are you taking the trade off of? This didn't fill here. Yeah, I don't think I hit this trade like at all. 0.7 to 0.8 is, there's 2 instances where this has created a new high after it's hit here on a Monday specifically, and this is using the entire month. So this is one of the instances in this case, which is crazy. But there's no, like I see no reason to enter a trade here.
Yeah, I get you on that.
Like I would, if it came, yeah, it would have to like actually come into this somewhere and then see a rejection, and I'd be interested.
It doesn't reject off the top of that? Oh no, it doesn't.
No. Yeah, like even if it like wick to wick and rejected, I don't understand. Like I guess you could argue for like once this hits here, it like you could just use the wick, assuming it's not making a new low, go for the gap.
Like, how many R is that? Does that give you 3R?
Yeah.
Yep, alright.
But I didn't take it as price was printing, so I'm just not including it in my metrics.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't include stuff that is like hindsight because it just gives
no, it's not real.
Yeah.
It's hard enough to be kind of honest with yourself. Once you see the candles, it's like even when it's showing you the back end of the candle, it's hard to know. You really need to make your decision on the previous candle.
Yeah, I can agree with that argument. Okay, so this, we got a wick confirmation. I wouldn't take that. Another wick confirmation. We're past the point of confirmation, so I'm not interested. And then we'd be looking at, so this is a true day. true. This is a true short. So if we were looking at it'd be, what would the model be here? I think you'd still be looking for an upside day. Yeah.
Yeah, UXP, even though we're confirming down.
Yeah, it still hasn't broke structure though. I would even argue that you could long right here, like right where it is.
Yeah, that's a good point actually.
So like, this is perfectly in the area that caused the break of structure. This wouldn't be it because it's equalizing in a zone. Fails to make a new low, barely goes into this wick. We'll see here. So what time did this actually confirm? So 5 o'clock ODR, Tuesday, true short 5. So 04 to 05 is our mode, which makes sense here. So, and is our extension time. It says that's a really weird extension time. So 5:30 to 5:45 is actually the extension time for this day. But then there's another one at 8:15, 8:30, so we would just use that. And I'm pretty sure on this dib, just based on what I said right here, I would definitely long this, stop here, and I'd be going for
the DR high.
I might even just do this just to see what happens.
0.5, you could go for the 0.5.
Yeah, so we'd be break even.
Break even. But look where it is. It's the IDR, and it didn't even tap the IDR high. That would have been like a low-hanging fruit target.
So this here. So we have a broken model with a gap below. So this is the, I can assume the box is coming up here. That's funny. This is, like, you could literally just short right there. Let's pretend you missed it and short here. Stop here, going for the gap. Do adjusted for 3R.
What was that? Hit the order block? Is that what you were laughing about?
Yeah.
No, all it did was sweep the low. Look at this thing, it's just going up and down.
It's still going for the gap.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe not.
I agree.
So we would get stop till break even here. And this is, I think this is one of the times where, like, M7, says you just go for the DR. Like, DR to DR.
Well, there's a certain percentage chance that it's going to break that. Oh, wait, no, that's all right. Is that a confirmation? No, it isn't.
No.
All right. I don't know. I mean, I'd be taking something at the DR, but this is the bane of my existence here when it comes to trading, is that I would take something at the DR, but if it decided to go, by the time it really went to any, extension targets, I would have less than 20% of my position on when it went there. And it's like, I don't know how to overcome that. I think you get like a higher win percentage, but your profit is like less than a third. If you look at my metrics, it's like my profit on my trades is a third of the potential profit.
Yeah, I don't like how metrics says potential profit though, because it's like you could just have this down here, and it's just taking the number, right?
Oh.
Whereas like FX replay, when I used to backtest with that, what it would do is it would take because it was actually using TradingView data, so you'd be like taking trades, like, so like if I put this trade in FX Replay,
Mm-hmm.
it's recording it and it's taking like, so it's playing the candles as if it's like live price action,
Mm-hmm.
and then it'll show you what your actual R was. It'll show
Mm-hmm.
you what your adjusted R could be based on the most common target hit based on all your executions. So like say you did like a 3R like trade style,
Mm-hmm.
and it saw that like you could have a slightly lower win rate, but you could have a 5R like target. It would actually give you that adjusted value of like, based on how you're executing. If this is actually how you're executing, you could actually go for this as a target and you'd be ahead.
Oh, I get you. It just shows the true traded max extension, not the number you put in as your target.
That's right. Whereas
I got you.
metrics is just, it's whatever you're.
Yeah, you could put anything you want in.
Exactly. Like you could be like, you put 100R trades and your expected like potential is fucking 10 million R. Like who cares? So I don't take that into account. That's irrelevant.
Okay.
So,
I gotta pick up my son. Are you gonna be back on later? Or what's your thoughts on today? You're just gonna.
yeah, I'll probably be on in a bit. I'm gonna try to focus on my poker tournament here since I'm still in it. And then,
Oh shit! Nice. Texas Hold'em.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then I'll be back on later.
All right, cool, man. All right, thanks so much, dude. This is great. This is helpful.
Sounds good, buddy.
I'll chat to you later.
Yep. Bye.